What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and this week we are going to go over some specific things about the AFC South. We're going to go over each team besides the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to go over the Houston Texans. We're going to go over the Tennessee Titans. And we're going to go over, today, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Check out what they've done in this past free agency before the draft and see whether or not they've gotten better or worse before the 2021 season. We'll get into that right after this.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
And we're back, just like that. Love having everyone here. Appreciate you being here. Hey, before I get started, I just want to let you know, you can follow me on Twitter right here on the stream. And then, of course, obviously, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube at Lawrence Owen. I have a merch shop as well, where if you want to help support me and my channel, to help become bigger and better, bring out more content, there's a merch shop right down in the description of the video where you can check out. I got tons of stuff, really good, cool items, not just clothing, but phone cases and stuff. By the way, I have 3 specific phone cases in that merch shop. If you have a phone that's not registered or listed, feel free, put your phone type in the comments. I'd be more than happy to see if I could get a case for you for that specific one. Drop it on the merch shop, and then I will reply and let you know if it's there or not, if it's something that's interesting to you. Toxic, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for being. Don't forget to smash that like button as we get through this, because this could be a long stream. First and foremost, I just want to let you know also, I will get to the chats after we get through this whole Jacksonville thing, go over their roster and their additions that they have acquired afterwards. Now, if I get a super chat or something like that in the system, I will break to that immediately. That way it's covered. But hey, let's go ahead and start off right now as we get into this. And Jacksonville, thanks so much, by the way, for being here. Now, if we go back in January, on the 2nd, they promoted wide receiver Terry Godwin and offensive lineman Trevor Wallace-Sims to the active roster. And then they activated punter Logan Cook from the reserve COVID list and placed wide receiver Colin Johnson on injured reserve. That's just something that happened in January. They also promoted Trent Balke. I assume that's how you pronounce his name, Baalke, to the general manager. But then they waived Dustin Colquitt and activated offensive lineman Ben Barch from the reserve list as well. Whoo! And then we have a massive list here. In February, lots of people, new coaches. Charlie Strong was the assistant head coach, inside linebacker coach. Now I'm just getting to these because of the simple fact that, stuff we don't know. Get that out of the way. Darrell Bevel became the offensive coach, and Joe Cullen, the defensive coach. Brian Schneider, special teams coordinator. Brian Schottenheimer, actually, became the quarterback's passing game coordinator. Tyler Bowen became the tight end coach. Sanjay Lal, wide receivers coach. And Bernie Parmali is the running backs coach. George Warhop was the offensive line coach. Todd Washington, the assistant. I understand you guys probably really don't care a lot about this, but, there might be some names that you might like. Quentin Gunther was the offensive quality control. Will Harriger, the offensive assistant. Carlos Polk is the special teams assistant. Chris Ash is the safety. Tim Walton, the cornerback. Joe Donna, nickel coach. Tosh Lupoy, I assume is how you pronounce that name, is the defensive line. Sterling Lucan is the assistant defensive line. Zach Orr, outside linebacker. Tony Gilbert, assistant linebacker. Patrick Riley, defensive quality control. And Bob Sutton, senior defensive assistant. Now, as you know, obviously, they got a new head coach, right? Former Ohio State guy. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. On March 4th, they placed the franchise tag on Cam Robinson, the offensive lineman. And then they re-signed Trey Herndon and center Tyler Shatley. On March 10th, they signed running back Carlos Hyde to a 2-year contract, which to me is an absolute huge deal because James Robinson was a very good running back, but he wasn't that power back, right? We'll get to that later, but I have liked Carlos Hyde since he was with the Browns. They also signed, you may know this name, Philip Dorsett, to go with that incredible speed that they have on that offense. And then they re-signed Dwayne Smoot, the defensive end, to a 2-year contract on that same day on March 10th. On March 12th, they re-signed the tight end James O'Shaughnessy, who, in my opinion, was a guy I would have liked the Indianapolis Colts to take a long look at. I thought he was one of those underrated guys that, you know, kind of fit what the Colts really like to do with the tight ends. And it was somebody I thought that the Colts might kind of look forward to. Then they also signed kicker Aldrick Roses and released cornerback Quentin Meeks and Rashawn Melvin and Josh Nurse. They also released punter Cameron Nazelic, I assume that is, running back Craig Reynolds, and defensive tackles Dontavius Russell, former Colt Al Wood, and Gabe Wright. 3 days later, on the 15th, they signed the punter Logan Cook to a contract extension, right? And claimed wide receiver Jean-Vay Johnson off of waivers from the Dallas Cowboys. On the 19th, they signed quarterback C.J. Beathard, or Bethard, however you pronounce it, from the 49ers, who was the third quarterback that the Niners had to use last year after their other two quarterbacks went down with injury over a period of time. And then on the 20th, they re-signed Adam Gotsis, the defensive lineman. On the 21st, they signed offensive tackle Derwin Gray. And on the 28th, they signed linebacker Damian Wilson to a contract. So they were very, very active in March. They had, on the 4th, Cam Robinson signed his franchise tag. And then they went ahead and signed defensive tackle Daniel Ross as well. And I believe that's the updates. So Cam Robinson did sign his tender. So he will be there. Now, when it comes to the roster itself, they still have a lot to go with. Now, something that it was not on this list. We talked about Philip Dorsett, right? Do you remember when the Colts signed Philip Dorsett? There was a lot of upset Colts fans about that. There was a specific defensive lineman that a lot of Colts fans wanted in that draft by the name of Malcolm Brown, right? Who ended up going to the Patriots. Well, guess what? After his rookie stint with the Patriots, he goes to the Saints and was there for a couple years. On March 17th, the Jacksonville Jaguars traded for Malcolm Brown for an undisclosed draft pick. So they end up getting, now Malcolm's not exactly what I would call a great pass rusher. But after what Jonathan Taylor did to the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 17, and the Jacksonville was just like, crap, we can't let a single running back bust over 250 yards against us in a single game. They went and got, they traded for Malcolm Brown for the Saints. It was a good move for both teams. It kind of helped the Saints with their situation on cap space. And then Malcolm's a darn good run stuffer right up the middle. So Jacksonville got a guy who could help stop the run, eat up blocks, things like that, up the gut. So legitimately, both the guy that the Colts signed and in 2015 and the guy who many Colts fans wanted the Colts signed instead, both end up on Jacksonville this year. Now, let's talk about that because that is ridiculous. Let's talk about the actual danger of how good this offense is going to be, because Jacksonville's offense ain't bad. They got Jake Luton. They got C.J. Beathard at quarterback. Good backups. Gardner Minshew. Yes, they still have Gardner Minshew. And they got the first pick in the draft. And most people think that's Trevor Lawrence all day, right? All day. Now, question. Are they going to keep Trevor Lawrence? Or obviously they're going to sign Trevor. Are they going to keep Gardner Minshew? That's a big question. Are they keeping Gardner Minshew? Because, this is his third season. Last year he looked pretty darn good. His rookie year he looked really good. Last year, okay. This year, I don't know. Or are they going to trade him after the draft to a team that might need somebody? Maybe New England. I don't know. When they have Luton and Beathard, in my opinion, those are guys I think that are, viable backups. I don't think Minshew wants to be a backup. I think he wants to be a starter. So at quarterback, they're going to be set because they're going to have Trevor Lawrence. Running back, quite frankly, they're set. They have the 1-2 punch. James Robinson is great out of the backfield. He's quick, agile, could catch the football. Obviously, we've seen a lot of that from James Robinson last year as an undrafted free agent. And then they went and got the Thunder, right? I was just talking about that. Carlos Hyde, great running back. Just a power back between the tackles. It's amazing. He's 30 years old, and in my opinion, is still a big-time threat at running back. They also have a bunch of other guys, Raquel Armstead and Nathan Cottrell, and guys like that on their running back core. Let's go look at their tight end situation, because like I said, they have James O'Shaughnessy, who I think is highly underrated as a tight end. Good all-around guy, but he's 29. James Manhurts and Ben Ellison, Tyler Davis. They need an upgrade at tight end. But with the wide receivers they have, oh my. They have so much talent at wide receiver. Yes, they lost Keelan Cole, this offseason. But they picked up Marvin Jones. They've got Laviska Shenault. They've got Terry Godwin that they picked up, Philip Dorsett, and DJ Chark. Chark, Shenault, Dorsett, Marvin Jones. We're talking about serious weapons at the wide receiver position. Okay? Now, obviously, Dorsett hasn't necessarily blown up, but he's still a deep threat, right? Which will help Marvin Jones and Shenault and guys like that up the gut. Chark, also a deep threat. So if Chark has to go out, they can throw Dorsett in there. They've got a lot of serious weapons at the wide receiver position with good running backs, and then Trevor Lawrence. This could be a top 10 offense next year. It really could. Now, do they need a little help On the offensive line, probably. Okay. Most likely. Like we talked about, they did re-sign Cam Robinson. They still have Andrew Norwell, right? KC McDermott, AJ Cann, guys like that are there. Ben Barch. But I think they could pick up a couple extra. This is a deep offensive line draft. I think they could probably seriously get into that and do a very good job in that situation. Now, here's the deal. The defense is where they're hurting, right? The defense is where they're hurting. Like I said, I will get into the regular chat after I get over what I'm talking about here on the Jacksonville. If there's any kind of super chats or anything of that nature, donations, I'll get to them immediately. Or at least I think I will. But if you like what I'm talking about right now, please smash that like button so I can get a little bit more people in here. Appreciate everyone that is here, though. Defensive line, they've got some okay stuff there. Think about this. They have Josh Allen. And as a rookie, Josh Allen was a beast. Last year, he only played 8 games. He got hurt, right? Wasn't in for 8 games. He's going to come back fresh. So, he's a heck of a pass rusher. Jihad Ward, Dwayne Smoot, Aaron Patrick, and Adam Gotsis. These are all defensive ends. They could use an extra pass rusher on the opposite side, in my opinion. Clavon Chason is also, I guess he is a pass rusher, and he could get better. I wasn't overly impressed with his rookie season last year, but who knows? Taven Bryan is a guy who could move across the entire defensive line. Like I said, they traded for Malcolm Brown to help against a run defense. They also have Doug Costin, Daniel Equale, something like that. I can't pronounce that name. Daniel Ross and Devon Hamilton at the defensive tackle positions. I think they could use another good, solid defensive tackle besides Malcolm Brown, obviously, to help with that run defense. But who knows? We'll see what happens in this draft. Linebacker-wise, we already know about Miles Jack, right? We all know Miles Jack. But they also have Damian Wilson, Quincy Williams, Joe Schobert, who is a solid linebacker as well, Chappelle Russell, Shaquille Quartman, guys like that, Nate Evans, and Dakota Allen. So I think they could probably upgrade at linebacker as well, even though I love Schobert. Schobert's more of a thumper, and Miles Jack is more kind of that guy that can swing around. And it was like Miles Jack and Joe Schobert were the Darius Leonard, Anthony Walker Jr., but at a lower level, right? So if they upgrade there, that'd be good. They definitely need more depth, in my opinion. They did, however, they try to help with their cornerbacks. Last year, C.J. Henderson that they picked up started off the year really well, then kind of went down a little bit in his rookie year. I think he'll probably have a much better season this year. They went and got Shaquille Griffin from the Seahawks. So that could be a bump for him. Now, the Seahawks' pass defense wasn't that great, but that could be just because they couldn't get any kind of pass rush going, right? I mean, legitimately, that could be it. They've got Luke Barku, Trey Herndon, Nathan Metters, Sidney Jones, Brandon Rusnak, Josiah Scott, right? And Chris Claybrooks, who's more of a special teamers than he is a cornerback. So I think they need to upgrade there dramatically. Then we move down to the safety position. Excuse me, give me a moment while I scroll down to get to the safeties. Ruby Ford, Rashawn Jenkins, Josh Jones, Daniel Thomas, Jared Wilson, Andrew Wingard. Now, Wingard is interesting. He's got some speed to him. But they definitely need a serious upgrade at the safety position. UK Colts fans, bro, what's up with the new setup? Is better from this side. What's your Patreon again? I'll let you guys know that in a minute. Now, as I'm going and looking over the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't see offensive talent-wise. I think they need upgrades at the tight end. Some kind of big-name guy at tight end. Obviously, they're getting Trevor Lawrence. I don't see them trading back and getting more guys. But I do see them needing a tight end. They don't need wide receivers. They don't need running backs. I think they're incredibly set at that. Offensive line, I could see them grabbing some offensive linemen. I could see them getting another defensive tackle, maybe an additional pass rusher, depending upon how they feel about their other defensive pass rusher. They need an upgrade at linebacker. They need to grab another corner and another safety in this draft. They have got basically at all three levels, from their defensive line, linebackers, and then defensive backs. They need upgrades there, okay? And that's what's hurting them. This is a team that could legitimately average 28 points a game, right? And still have a losing record. Because their defense could end up giving up 32 points a game. That's what's scary about this. This is a very good offense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm seeing some of these chats and it's pretty funny. Let me get into some of this chat. Toxic, appreciate you being here. Clavier Speller? I apologize if I know I chopped that name up, and I'm sorry. But I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Please, guys, smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you're notified next time I go live or upload a video. And don't forget my merch shop down here in the description of this stream. Alpha, pleasant that you're here. Didn't know about Hyde or Dorsett. No, probably didn't know much about. Did you know about Malcolm Brown? Because Malcolm Brown's a big name too. He's going to be a huge benefit. Tommy says Dorsett has been remarkably evergreen for a guy who can't get open. He's got the thing about Dorsett is he does have hands, and he can take a top off a defense. If there is a break. Right? If there's a mistake on a defense, he'll make you pay. He did it with the New England Patriots a few times, right? Even in the playoffs, he did it in the Super Bowl, he had a very big time play. Is he a number one receiver in the NFL? No. But he's still a danger, especially a danger that can take a top off a defense. That's why he's still in the league. Jamie Miller says, until Jacksonville gets some stability in their coaching staff, system, and players, they likely remain a mess that they have been for years. You cannot have that much turnover year in and year out. Now, the turnovers happened since 2017. You know, after that great defense they had, then, and with Blake Bortles and all them, they hated the front office. Everybody wanted out. They have completely flipped that entire team in the front office, coaching, everything, right? So I think that Jacksonville is, they have a chance to turn things around and be a competitive team. We can't look at them this year and go, well, those are 2 easy wins, right? Because last year, the Colts gave them their only win of the year, right? Because they had a really good offense. And now it's even better, especially with Trevor Lawrence and Marvin Jones and them on the team. So this is a good offense. And Carlos Hyde, backing up James Robinson. Durr says, Jags winning the Super Bowl someday. Maybe. It's possible. I don't see him doing it this year. I think they have way too much on the defense that needs to be upgraded for them to even make the playoffs this year, especially with the Titans and the Colts still having pretty solid all-around rosters. That one guy says, all those weapons. Too bad Lawrence will be the next Ryan Leaf, hopefully. I doubt it. All right. Now, here's the true thing about that. All right. Whenever a team drafts a quarterback first overall, generally that first year is not good. Okay? The team itself, the record, usually is not good. The last time a team had a winning record, drafting a quarterback number 1 overall, was the Colts with Andrew Luck, right? Generally, when you're picking number 1, it's not just the quarterback that's such a bad situation. If your entire team needs help, right? So, I think Jacksonville is making moves, and they could be a threat in 2 or 3 years, but I don't see it this year. I just don't, all right? Aaron Stackhouse, how do you see Chenault's second year going? Probably pretty good because, honestly, Trevor Lawrence likes to throw those crossing routes, and that's where Chenault thrives. So I could see Chenault legitimately getting a lot of targets. And he's the biggest receiver there, right, on the team. And that's an amazing – he's like a running back receiver, but he's a receiver because he's like 6'3", 6'4", something like that. If he was like 5'9" or 6 foot or 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, he'd have probably been a running back instead of a wide receiver. But because he's so big, Chenault can legitimately be a danger. Alpha says, imagine all those weapons and not being able to get to them by not protecting Jags. Lawrence. Yes, I agree. They do need some help on the offensive line. They've got 2 decent offensive linemen. I think the rest of them need to be upgraded. They're kind of in a similar situation offensive line-wise as the Texans currently, right? They got an offensive tackle. They got an inside lineman. They need more. And I think that they'll probably use this draft to get it. I really do. Durr says Jags immediate needs offensive tackle. I'm gonna assume you mean inside offensive line instead of inside offensive tackle. Nose tackle, strong safety, free safety, linebacker. That's what I'm saying. Right? The D-line, you need a guy to go beside Malcolm Brown. You need an extra depth at linebacker. And you need safety help. I honestly think that you could get another cornerback. Honestly. I really do. Lawrence, bro, what's up? The new setup. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier with UK Colts fans. Appreciate you being here, by the way. What's up? The new setup is better from this side. And what's your Patreon again? Actually, Let me go look that up real quick for you. The Patreon should be in the list in the description of the channel with my merch shop. But let me scroll down here, find Patreon. There it is. It's Colts Law. My Patreon is Colts Law. But my Streamlabs is Lawrence Owen. All right, so my Patreon, very, very simple. You join Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get all of my stuff, right? Everything that I do, whether it's on this channel, whether it's on somebody else's channel, whether it's a podcast, and then on top of that, about once a week or once every other week, I do a specific video specifically only for Patreon supporters. It's only $5 a month. It's hardly any money at all. It's like, a couple sodas, two or three 2 liters, something like that. And you get plenty of content from me. But yeah, thanks for asking the question, Harrison. Dabney. Oh, I messed up. Dabney says they are set at safety. I don't think so. I think they could upgrade at safety. They have one decent safety that I like, and the other one, not so much. Yeah, they definitely need that tied in. Toxic says send in LaRaven. Toxic, that's just toxic. All right. No team wants LaRaven Clark. Oh, wait. Dabney says lost one of their best safeties. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That one guy says, I don't take the Jags seriously for the simple fact that no college coach has success anymore. Harbaugh was the last one to do it. Urban will only be there 3 years, and he will be fired or step away again. Now, the thing about Urban Meyer was he retired out of college because of stress, basically. It was affecting his health. And he was Ohio State. And Ohio State is nationally, focused, right? The national media has a serious focus on Ohio State. With Jacksonville doesn't have a huge national media following. So I don't think the stress will be near as much. Plus, he'll have the support of the players and the coaches around him, which will help keep that down a little. Expectations at Ohio State are always super, super high. And the expectations for Jacksonville right now is not that high. So the stress on him isn't going to be that much. I think this is an opportunity for Urban Meyer to actually succeed and not have to worry about, his health problems. That's just my thought. Good news from my dynasty football team. Right, Aaron? When is the draft? Is it the 27th, I think? I think the NFL draft is the 27th. Let me go look at that again. I'm pretty sure. NFL 2021 draft is 29th. Starts on the 29th, ends on May 1st. So there you have it. All right. Need more people watching. Share this. Please. Please. It's very simple, actually. If you go right down here in the stream, you'll see a little share button. You can share that out to whatever social media you're watching, that you have, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, whatever. If you're part of a Colts blog or something of that nature, feel free to share it there too. I really appreciate it. The only way I get bigger is if you guys help me do so. So I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me. Also, if you see right over here, this list, that is a list, basically, anytime something happens. A new subscriber, a super chat, donations, Patreon, someone buys something from my merch, anything of that nature will pop up right here, right? And then there'll be a little thing right right there. So just let you know, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. That way you can see me as I continue. Because I'm going to be going through all these teams over the next couple days. This week especially. The next team will probably be the Texans, and then the team after that will be the Titans. I'm sorry about this weekend where I didn't really get much out. I have a new job, right? I cover the Indy Express professional basketball team. I'm the broadcast coordinator for them. Just started this over this past weekend on Friday and Saturday. I also do the color commentary for the team. So I've been a very, very busy guy. It's an hour and a half drive to get there, and then I'm there for like 5 hours, and then it's an hour and a half drive back. So those days that I have to do that, I'm incredibly busy and just don't have enough time to do what we're doing right now, right? Now, I do have a film room, all right, that is coming out today for Dear Pats Nation. That's what it's called. You can check it out here on YouTube, DPN. I do a film room for them once a week. This week, today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the addition of Kendrick Bourne. I did a film room for Kendrick Bourne. I need to get another film room out for the Colts, which I will probably get into soon. Let's see what else we got here. Need more people watching. Seen that, read that. It's there. All you can Colts. Will the Jags be better than the Texans? That's a good question. All you can Colts. Now, here's the deal. I think they will be. I think they'll have a better record than the Texans, especially if Deshaun Watson don't play, right? I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen with him. There's going to be a lot of people focused on that over the next couple months. So, I think that's going to have a lot to do with that, on whether or not Jacksonville and the Texans, who's going to be legitimate number 2 and number 3 and number 4 in the AFC South. Yeah, Beetlejuice says Texans are a mess. Only team I am worried about is Tennessee, and not too worried. I think the Colts can win. Well, true. I'm a little worried about the Texans because let's be frank about that. They have a very good offense, okay? Their defense needed a lot of help, and they picked a little bit up in the free agency. We'll see what they do, but they got a good offense. Now they lost, I think they lost Corey Davis, didn't they? Or did Corey Davis re-sign? Let me look. I'm pretty sure they lost him. I think he's with the Jets, ain't he? Yeah, he went with the Jets. So that's a big hit for them. But I still think that I like Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. I think he's a very good game-managing quarterback with the ability to scramble. They still have Brown at wide receiver. They still have they did lose Jonnu Smith as well, which is a big hit to them. But Derrick Henry's just a beast, right? So we'll see how they look when we get in depth with them later on. It'll probably be my Friday stream, right? It'll most likely be my Friday stream. Ant Rogers, what's going up, man? Appreciate you being here. Don't forget as well, he left Florida with a heart condition. I believe he left 2 jobs because of health reasons. That's what I was talking about. His health had to do with stress, right? Urban Meyer's health had to do with stress. And I don't think he's going to have that much stress in Jacksonville because the national media is just not nearly as hardcore on Jacksonville as the national media was for the Ohio State University. I strongly disagree with the trace of stress, but that's okay. Because I understand that, Jamie, but at the same time, it's all about expectations, right? And that's what hurts your stress. At Ohio State, there was so much expectations. At the pro level, It doesn't matter that they're your pro. It's still expectations. All has to do with expectations in national media. And since his expectations is not going to be that high in Jacksonville, and the fact that he's not going to have that much coverage from national media, I think that's going to help his stress levels. I really do. I really do. Ant Rogers says, the only reason I'm not worried is because the Jags are one of the worst drafting teams in the NFL. I mean, they got Josh Allen, which was a good draft. They got Laviska Shenault, which was good. A.J. Brown, solid. I mean, they've actually been drafting. Their high-end drafts are very good. It's those middling draft picks, you know, your third, fourth, and fifth round draft picks that I don't think they do very well at. They pick their higher-end guys really well. The problem is keeping guys, right? That's their problem. Over the last 3 years, they haven't been able to keep anybody because of the simple fact that no one wanted to work for that organization. Now the organization has changed. They have new GMs, new coaches, new everything. They're trying to create a brand new culture in Jacksonville, and we'll see how that pans out for them. They have done well recently, but not enough to turn it around. A.J. Brown is... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. You're correct on that. I was just got done talking about A.J. Brown, and for some reason he came up with the Jacksonville. But no, they have done well with their higher-end picks, just not their middling picks. Beetlejuice says he'll be able to sip a margarita and go to the beach at Jacksonville. He's talking about Urban Meyer. Just release some stress just by sitting there on the beach, right? OSU, Toxic Tommy says OSU is like Notre Dame used to be. Anything less than a national championship is unacceptable. Yeah. And losing to Michigan is a coach killer. Well, Swaggy says Justin Fields to the Jags. I doubt it, dude. I don't see it. You think Urban Meyer coached Lawrence? He coached him. No, he coached. Who was it? Was it Justin Fields? No, it was the OSU quarterback. I can't remember his name now off the top of my head. Is that Justin Fields? My head's all kind of messed up right now. Anyhow, no. It's Lawrence by far, okay? I get the coach quarterback link, but you can't you just can't say no to Trevor Lawrence. You can't. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he coached Justin Fields. For some reason, my brain was thinking that wasn't his name. But yeah, it is. I know that, that link is there. How do you turn down Lawrence? If they pick Justin Fields, you know how many Jacksonville Jaguars fans will be so ticked off? I mean, my goodness. Yes, he did. Yeah, but, the Bengals has Joe Burrow now. So, Watson messed up big time trying to be the boss of the Texans. All this came out after that. Makes one wonder if the Texans had something to do with it. Maybe. But at the same time, Watson had... I honestly think that Watson had a reason to be like, trade me. Because they were getting rid of everybody that he had any kind of faith with. So I don't blame Deshaun Watson for wanting out of Texas. In college, he doesn't mess with players' money. He trying to get them to make the money in college, but in the NFL, when messing with players' money, that's more stressful than college. You see, he's a coach. He's not the GM. He won't have to deal with that kind of stuff. The GM deals with the contracts. The GM deals with all that stuff. Ant says that's the difference between getting one player every year rather than three like the Colts have been doing. Bam. That's it right there for you. That's a fact. They do well at the top of the draft, just not in that middling part. I don't know how much football. I don't know how much about football like that, but Fields is a different man. His combine was for real. I would have done anything to get him over Wentz, Swaggy says. I don't know. You can be incredibly talented athletically. I mean, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be that guy in the NFL, right? I mean, RG3 had a great pro day, combine, right? He looked good. There was questions on whether or not it should be Andrew Luck or RG3. And now, look where RG3 is. So it's more about, in my opinion, picking what's right for your system rather than what's right for that one. Because currently right now, the Indianapolis Colts have a specific system they have. So you want somebody who's going to fit that system. Now, Frank Reich, Carson Wentz, the systems fit together. Would Justin Fields fit in that same system? I don't know, because I don't know what Frank Reich, how he sees Justin Fields. He never coached Justin Fields. He was at Georgia and then transferred to I thought he did coach him the year before last, but okay. Dwayne Haskins. That's it. I'm sorry. Dwayne Haskins. That's the name I was thinking of. My bad. RG3 won Rookie of the Year. It was because of injuries. Yes. But currently, look at him now. I mean, he's not having injury issues, but he's still sitting behind another quarterback for another team. Right? That's an issue. That one guy says RG3 still plays in the NFL. Andrew Luck, I'm not going to get into that. I wish Andrew Luck all the best, He played for, 9 seasons or something and decided to hang it up because he wanted to be he got married, he has a kid, he wants to be a family man. It's his personal life. I'm going to let him live his personal life and make his own decisions for things. Nobody is scared of Wentz. You keep getting made fun of for being a Colts fan by Texas fans. Wait until the end of the season. They don't have to be scared of Wentz. No one was scared of Ryan Tannehill either. Yet he's like the top 3 quarterback in the NFL over the past 25 regular season games in the NFL. Right? Top 5. No one was scared of him because he was in a bad situation with Miami. It's a very similar situation possibly with Wentz. So we'll see. Let them laugh, man. And maybe at the end of the year, you can just shove it back in their face. Just saying. No, Swaggy asks if I have thoughts on Luck versus Manning. Two different systems, 2 different coaching, 2 different players around him, everything. I can't really put that as who was better, comparatively, because it was completely different teams that they played for. And they had just a couple guys that he played with, but it was a completely different offensive system, different coaches, a lot of new players around him. So I really can't, compare the two. But Manning's still Manning. I mean, good Lord, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Jamie says, when you're talking quarterback prospects, it goes deeper than talent. Work ethic, coachability, the ability to deal with failure can all kill all the talent in the world. Yes. I mean, that had a lot to do with Ryan Leaf, right? Also, it's also system fits, right? If a quarterback does not fit a specific system and the talent level around that quarterback that fits what that quarterback can do, that can limit how well a quarterback does. AKA Ryan Tannehill, again, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading this. Oh, you're good. You're good, Swaggy. Beetlejuice says Luck did more with less. Well, yeah. Yes, he did. But it is what it is. At this point in the Colts offseason, would you sign Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year, $8 million deal? That's all you can, Colts. That's a good question. A lot of people don't like Jadeveon Clowney. I think he's a good edge setter. He is a good edge setter, right? He's a great edge setter. He's very, very good against the run. Do I think Jadeveon Clowney could exceed and excel sitting beside DeForest Buckner? I think that would make that. I think that legitimately could bring out the best of Jadeveon Clowney. When Jadeveon Clowney, no matter where he was at, got a lot of double team. When he was with the Texans, he got a lot of pressure. A lot of pressures. Not a lot of sacks, but a lot of pressures because J.J. Watt was opposite him. They couldn't really double team him near as much. Pressures are really important. Remember this. When he was with the last two teams that he played for, Jadeveon Clowney didn't have anyone to really take that look away from him. Everybody could just double team down on Jadeveon Clowney. You can't do that with the Colts defensive line when you got Stewart and Buckner in the middle. You're going to need 3 blockers on those 2 defensive tackles, which means Jadeveon Clowney will be there and will be one-on-one. I think Jadeveon Clowney would excel with the Colts. Problem. My curiosity is about his work ethic and about whether or not he can stay healthy long term. That's why my worry. Now, would I try an $8 million 1 year $8 million deal just to see if he fits with the Colts? I would do that. Absolutely, I would. I'm getting nervous due to Ballard's frugalness. Are we going to go through another season as mediocre pass rush defense? That's possible. It is possible. But you know what? Sometimes his frugalness has allowed him to put the Colts in a situation where they now have the money to re-sign those big-time players that we have. We're going to be able to re-sign Leonard. We're going to be able to re-sign Nelson. We're going to be able to re-sign Smith and probably Hines too over the next 2 years because Chris Ballard knows, he stays with that, I'm only paying so much for specific players and I'm not going over that. I'm not going to fall for that frenzy that's going on. Because he stays put on that, he's able to have the money to re-sign the star players that he has that he wants to keep long term. Just saying. Clowney had a lot of mental mistakes like offsides. Yes. Jadeveon Clowney did have he liked to try to guess. That's a comment by Beetlejuice, by the way. He did have a situation where he tried to guess snap counts and hard counts would really get him. Andrew Luck did that to him hardcore a couple times, even in the playoff games, right? So, yeah, I get that. That one guy says Clowney won't come because Wentz hates him. Because of a cheap shot. I don't think that'll be an issue. I mean, there's a difference between having a guy on the same team and playing against them, right? I don't think that Wentz would have that kind of. I don't even think Wentz would have that kind of pull yet. Just saying. I don't think he does. Ooh, Swaggy, good question. Did the Colts overpay for T.Y.? No, and I'll tell you why. First off, T.Y. Hilton brings certain things to the Colts, not just what he brings on the field, okay? He's a locker room guy. He's a guy who can bring the energy when it's needed. He's a veteran presence. He's a teacher, right? We have a couple of young guys, Paris Campbell, Michael Pittman Jr., T.Y. Hilton has all this knowledge up here from Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison taught Reggie Wayne taught T.Y. Hilton. I'd love to see T.Y. continue working with Pittman and the other receivers on the Colts and help them get better. That's actually worth having it. That's worth an additional $2-3 million in and of itself, in my opinion. 700 yards away from having 10K yards and having the only Ant Rodgers brings that up. If he's not even 700 yards. It's like 640 something yards, I think. And if he gets 10K yards for his career with the Colts, Indianapolis will be the only team in the NFL history to have 3 wide receivers with at least 10,000 yards receiving in franchise history, which would be a nice mark, but at the same time, that's an awful specific record. You know what I'm saying? That's a very specific record. That's kind of, I hate saying this. It's kind of like hanging a banner for winning your division, you know? But I get why he did it, you know, the hanging the banner thing, but, you know, we got a lot of heat for that outside Indianapolis, especially by Patriots fans. But then again, I mean, we could give the Patriots a lot of heat for a lot of stuff they've done. Beetlejuice says, how about Nelson on the edge? I don't like, I've already explained that I don't like having Quentin Nelson as a tackle because you lose that ability to use him in pulling situations in the run game, which is a huge benefit for having Nelson at that situation. So, and he's a 10 out of 10 at left guard. And even if he's an 8 out of 10 at left tackle, and then we put someone in that's a 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 at left guard, then I think you drop overall. There's plenty of tackles in this draft. There's no doubt in my mind the Colts will grab one either first or second round in this draft without any question. No question at all. Appreciate everyone being here. Don't forget, smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. I ain't had nobody subscribe during this channel or do anything like, you know, of that situation because it would have popped up on my screen. So, just letting you know. And I'm only like 5 subscribers from 2,300 subs. No, 1,300 subs. I'm like 5 or 6 away from 1,300 subs. So if you're here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe and I'd appreciate it. Oh, he wasn't talking about offensive tackle? You're talking about putting Nelson at defensive end? No. Are you out of your darn mind? Whoosh. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Do you think we will have more than 1,000-yard rushing running back? No. I think we'll have 1,000-yarder. We'll probably have one 300-yard rusher and one 500-yard rusher. I think we'll get around 2,000, maybe 2,100 yards rushing. Because I think if the Colts offense can stay healthy, especially wide receiver wise, I think because of the run game and the danger that it'll provide, will open up a good passing game. As long as Carson Wentz even becomes anything like he was 2017, 2018, 2019, right? What up, JDW Sports Talk Show? Appreciate you being here. He says that Jacksonville's offense is going to be scary. It is. I've been saying that all year. I said that last year, that their stuff is really, really scary. And looky here. Give me about 30 seconds there, Ant Rodgers. But yeah, I mean, they got they need a couple offensive linemen. But they're going to be a dangerous, dangerous team. Scary. And there we go with the super chat from Ant Rodgers, $5. Thank you so much, Ant Rodgers, for the donation. I appreciate you. You say you love the channel. Really appreciate the support that you give. It's something that I do not take for granted all of you who come in and watch the show every week that I come in and do this and uploads. Hey, I'm thinking about doing a film room. I know that should I be doing? Did I already do a Braden Smith? If I haven't done a Braden Smith, should I do a Braden Smith? Because I'm pretty sure I've done a Bobby Okereke. I've done Julian Blackman. I've done a lot of players. T.Y. Hilton. I got a T.Y. Hilton film room up. So whatever you're looking for. Oh, Durst subscribed during this broadcast. Did it pop up? Did it pop up in the corner over here? Because if it didn't, then I'm gonna be ticked off. Because it should have. I missed it if you did. I might have been reading something. Because I have to have my I had Google up while I was going over, the transactions for Jacksonville's earlier. So, just let you know. JDW says, I've been trying to tell people their O-line average at best. Lawrence has some solid weapons and a very good running back. Not just one good running back. He's got two because they picked up Carlos Hyde, dude. Carlos Hyde is that thunder to James Robinson's lightning, right? Just saying. Very solid. Beetlejuice says, I subscribed. I thought I already was. Laugh out loud. Okay, so that means I'm not getting subscription notifications, and I should be. Which is upsetting. Let me check this out. Because I should be getting alert box. Huh. Well, that's odd. Well, that's weird. It should be there. Interesting. I wonder why I'm not getting those alerts for subscriptions. That's really ticking me off. I'm going to have to try it because when I test, it says that it works. But for some reason, it's not working. Odd. Oh, well, I got to get back to this. I appreciate you guys. How about Xavier Rhodes? I like Xavier Rhodes for a year. It was I think he was definitely worth the money. He was actually less than what I thought he was going to be worth. You should do Baker or someone to get more views. That's an interesting comment. I might end up going that. Can you do a film room for a left tackle the Colts will draft? That's a problem because I'm having issues getting all 22 for college. Okay, it's a difficult situation where it's hard to get. Now, if they do draft him, I will do everything I can to get the all 22 to do a film room on him that week. But I don't know if I'll be able to get it immediately. Why am I not getting subscriber alerts is enabled, but I didn't get an alert. Why is it not? I don't know. Oh, well. I don't know what to say about it because I'm a little ticked off that I can't get this stuff going. It says that I have donations, subscribers, members, super chats, pledges, and merchandise. but for some reason, it's not showing the subscribers, which is odd. Anyhow, fun fact, the Colts actually drafted John Elway. Yeah, I know that. Yep. And he didn't want to play for the Colts. And that's why he was immediately went somewhere else. Asked about my new gig, JDW. Like I said, Friday and Saturday, I had my broadcast coordinator job for the Indy Express professional basketball team. That's why I didn't do anything over the weekend. I was just really, really busy. It was a learning experience. I was incredibly nervous, but it was a fun experience, so thanks for asking. Ant says, can I do a film room on Kari Willis? I think after the Steelers game, we realized how important he is. That's an interesting one. I might do a Kari Willis film room. I wouldn't mind Braden Smith either, he says. I think he should be recognized. I do too. Did my total go up? JDW says you have problems with getting subscriber alerts as well. Yeah, it's weird. I have a Marlon Mack film room, by the way. I do not have a Mark Lewinsky film room. I do have a Xavier Rhodes film room, don't I? Yes. At the beginning of last year, I showed a Xavier Rhodes film room. Now, I could do a new one for how he did for the Colts, if that's what you're asking about. That's something I could do. Swaggy says, is that a room or your green screen? And you're talking about what's right behind me. Excuse me, it's green screen. I don't have as much Colts memorabilia as this anymore. I used to have a ton, but I don't anymore when my house burnt down about 5 years ago. So I lost all that. And when I started doing this, one of my close followers went ahead and said, hey, here, I got a great Colts man cave. Here's a HD picture you could use as a background. So I've been using that. I tell everybody that whenever they ask. I ain't going to try to hide nothing from you guys. Durr says, maybe YouTube doesn't like me. I'm sure they like you. It has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with the subscriber alerts ain't working properly. So I don't know why. Did I find my camera? Yeah, my camera was at home. I left my camera at home on Saturday when I went and done that, and I had to use a stupid webcam to cover the game. How awful is that? Do you think Ballard might draft a defensive end in the first or second round and later in the draft? Or Sam Linebacker, who is a great... I'm hoping he gets a defensive end pass rusher in the first round. If he doesn't get one, I hope he does not use a second round pick on one. Unless some oddly reason one of the top four dropped to the second round, which I sincerely doubt. Because I think there's 4 defensive end pass rushers that are worth a first round pick. And then after that, there's none worth a second. Right? And then we don't even have a third round pick this year. Could you compare him to his last year in Minnesota? Just an idea. JDW says, I'm assuming that's about Rhodes. And with Rhodes, honestly, his last year with Minnesota was actually really, really good when he was healthy. And that's what the film room was about. When he was healthy, Rhodes was a lockdown corner, playing, in my opinion, top 5 cornerback. But the problem was the Vikings had no depth, and they played his butt while he was hurt his last 2 seasons at Minnesota. And not just any kind of injury. I'm talking like ankle, calf, hip, abdomen, stuff like that affect how a cornerback plays. And that's why he played poorly, because they forced him and would not let him heal to get back on the field healthy. And that's why he sucked with Minnesota. In what I gather, if YouTube doesn't like you, then you are doing something right. Beetlejuice. Did the Colts recognize you? Did the Colts recognize me? What do you mean by that, Swaggy? I actually have. I was contacted by the Indianapolis Colts organization last week. They have something in the works that they're going to include me in on around the draft, apparently. But I can't get into that, so just to let you know. Dorsett, sorry to hear that about my house burning down, I'm sure. You know what? It's been a while. I'm just glad that my wife and kids got out safe. My pets, I had 4 cats, 3 of them kittens, 1 the mother, and they all died of smoke inhalation. And my wife was hospitalized for 2 months due to smoke inhalation because she had to go back in and get our son. I was at work, at the time, so that sucks. But they're all good and healthy now, so God blessed me in that aspect of allowing me to keep my family. Beetlejuice says that he hopes that we go left tackle in the first round. I wouldn't mind going left tackle unless one of the top 4 defensive ends there. If one of the top 4 defensive ends are there, then I would go ahead and grab the defensive end pass rusher because I think that there are very good quality starting left tackles will be available throughout the second round. I think the Colts would be able to get a solid one in the second round. But if one of the other 4 are there, possibly trade back to early second round maybe and get one then, unless one of those really hardcore left tackles are there. Either way, it just depends upon the situation that happens as the draft falls, right? Blocking Carson needs to be a top priority, and that's why you want that. Like I said, the Colts have great offensive linemen across the board, and last year the left tackle, we didn't have a backup. All of our backups were awful. They were not average. If we just had an average left tackle, then he would play exceptional with Nelson beside him. So that's the thing. And also, you got to remember, Phillip Rivers was not mobile. Carson Wentz is mobile. Credit to the dude from Stampede Blue, but he said that after the top 15 players, there's a big drop-off, and you agree. Grover Stewart film room. Did you do one of? No, I have not. I believe I've done a Grover Stewart film room, Ant. All the players from 20 to 40 are all draftable from 20 to 40. Yeah. Thank you guys for your congratulations. Appreciate that. So happy rest of your family was safe. Yep. If Darrisaw is there at 21, it's a no-brainer. Most likely. Unless, like, the top defensive end guys there. I mean, yeah. Some were saying that we should be interested in Asante Samuel Jr. JDW didn't put Jr. in there, but it's Asante Samuel's son. But he isn't a Ballard guy. I don't think Asante Samuel Jr. is going to go in the first round. But again, Ballard likes the tall, long-armed guys. We need to have positions with bigger needs. Here you go, talking like a madman again. It happens, JDW. You do it a lot, and it's okay because it keeps the chat rolling. Appreciate it. He says he's a ringer. I don't think so. I see Asante Samuel as, like I said, not a Ballard dude. He just doesn't fit what Ballard generally gets. It looks like you didn't lose any of your Colt stuff in the fire. Okay, so like this right here, like all this stuff behind me, it's a green screen. It's a picture of somebody else's room. I have purchased, like this baseball tee, I have bought. I had someone donate stuff to me. I've got a hoodie that my wife is currently wearing. Heinz Over Heels hoodie. She's wearing that. Someone donated. I got my Colts hat. I got my Freeney jersey. I had 2 things survive the fire. My Freeney jersey, but there's burn marks at the bottom of it. And my signed copy of Robert Salvatore's Homeland that has black soot all over it. Those are the only 2 things that survived the fire for me. What Brian Walton asks, who do I predict the Colts will draft the first 3 picks? I'm hoping a defensive end pass rusher in the first if one of the top 4 drops. In the second, I'm hoping for a left tackle, even if you have to spend a 6th round pick to move up 5 or 6 spots to grab one. And then in the 4th, maybe a corner or a tight end. That's what I'm looking for. That would be my prime hope. Now, obviously, multiple things could happen during the draft. I will have a live draft stream where I'm talking about the draft and what my hopes are as it happens, but we'll see. Have you thought of buying me a coffee or something similar? I would do that as I donate through PayPal, but do not do Google Pay. Hey, like I said, there's a merch shop right down in my, there's a merch shop. Man, Aunt Rogers, you are awesome. There's a merch shop in the description of this video, okay? It's my merch shop. It's got all my merchandise. There's a bunch of stuff, including coffee cups, 2 different kinds. Aunt Rogers just dropped a super chat, though. I need to get to that. Caleb Farley is going to drop if he's there. Do we pull the trigger? I know it's a steep drop, but back issues are no joke. I don't know. That's a good question. Let me go look at a couple things real quick, my guy. All right? Give me a moment. Well, apparently the doctors are saying that his back is good. That he'll be ready for the NFL season next year after his medical check. But I don't know if he's going to fall that far. Right? I don't think he falls to 21. And I do think that the Colts need a cornerback. And honestly, here's the deal. If that looks like a situation where Chris Ballard might go that route, right? If one of the top premier pass rushers aren't there, but you have like what would be considered a top 10 corner drop to that position, to 21, I could see him going because he's a BPA guy. Ballard's a huge BPA guy. So it's possible it could happen. What if a sick quarterback's available at 21? Daphne Offerman asks. I don't think there's going to be any kind of sick quarterbacks drop. If they do, you grab them and use them as trade material, right? That's. Thank you so much, Brian Walton. You could have actually dropped a question in there, but I appreciate the donation as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I haven't had this much action in the super chat in some time. They said he should never play football again. I know, I got you, but the doctors say now that he's good to go and will be ready to play in the this upcoming season. Okay, for Farley, I was thinking the same thing, but now I really got to go. Okay, JD, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we know. We know. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I have been here quite a while. What's there to look at? I ran for an hour and 20 minutes, and I appreciate everybody that's here. Please don't forget, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Don't forget, share the stream to your favorite social media. Brian, Nomadic Brian, I see you down there. Yeah, 80 minutes, right? This is a little bit longer than I normally do on a solo run. Dur says, you'll go to my merch shop. I deserve the support. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. There are many live streams where they don't chat with the commentators. I appreciate it, even though I'm a Jags fan. Really? Well, what about what's his name? The Jags guy that run. Man, I watch his stuff once in a while too. He's down in Florida. He has the hair that's pulled back. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he doesn't really talk to the chat with you guys very much. I thought he does. Oh, my cat's getting sick. All right, that's awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate everybody being here, but I got to go because my cat's not feeling too well. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.